Cherry woke up in a cold, unfamiliar bed, the weight of her situation pressing down on her. The grand mansion, with its ornate decorations and luxurious furnishings, felt more like a prison than a home. The silence was suffocating, broken only by the distant echo of footsteps in the hallway. As she tried to gather her thoughts, the door creaked open and Jungkook entered the room. His presence was overwhelming, his eyes cold as they met hers. There was no warmth, no hint of the man she once imagined he could be. "Get up," he commanded, his voice devoid of any emotion. "We have things to discuss." Jenny swallowed hard and nodded, not daring to defy him. She quickly got out of bed, her hands trembling slightly as she followed him out of the room. He led her through the winding corridors of the mansion, his pace brisk and determined. They reached his office, a dark, imposing room filled with heavy furniture and walls lined with bookshelves. Jungkook gestures for her to sit down, and she obeyed, feeling small and insignificant under his intense gaze. "From now on," Jungkook began, his voice low and controlled, "you will follow my rules. This is not a marriage, it's a contract. I expect you to act accordingly." Jenny nodded, her heart pounding in her chest. She could see the cruelty in his eyes, the ruthless determination that made him the fierce mafia boss he was. But there was also something else, something hidden deep beneath the surface, something she could not quite place. "I won't tolerate any disobedience," Jungkook continued, leaning forward, his eyes locking onto hers. "You belong to me now, and you will do as I say. Do you understand?" "Yes," Jenny whispered, her voice barely audible. She felt like a trapped animal, cornered and helpless. Jungkook smirked, seemingly satisfied with her response. "Good. Now you will accompany me to meeting tonight. You will be my side, and you will behave as expected. Don't make me regret this." Before Jenny could respond, Jungkook stood up and walked around the desk towards her. He reached out and lifted her chin, forcing her to look into his eyes. The proximity was unsettling, his touch both cold and burning at the same time. "You may be afraid of me now," he said softly, his voice dripping with menace. "But by the time I am done with you, you will wish you never met me." Jenny breathed cough in her throat as he let go of her chin and turned away, leaving her sitting there, stunned and terrified. The door slammed shut behind him, and she was left alone in the dark room, the gravity of her situation sinking in even deeper. That evening, Jenny found herself dressed in a formal gown, her hairstyle perfectly as she prepared to accompany Jungkook to his meeting. She could feel the tension building within her, every fiber of her being screaming to run, but she knew there was no escape. This was her reality now. The car ride to the meeting was silent. Jungkook sat beside her, his gaze fixed straight ahead, his expression unreadable. When they arrived at the venue, a dimly lit exclusive club, Jenny's nerves were on edge. As they entered, all eyes were on them. The men in the room greeted Jungkook with respect, but there was an underlying fear in their gazes. Jungkook was a man of power, and no one dared to challenge him. Jenny felt completely out of place, a lamb among wolves. Throughout the evening, Jenny remained by Jungkook's side, her eyes lowered, avoiding the calculating gazes of the men who clearly saw her as nothing more than a possession. Jungkook was cold and distant, his attention focused solely on the business at hand. But there were moments, fleeting and almost imperceptibly, when Jenny caught a glimpse of something different in Jungkook, a flash of vulnerability quickly buried beneath his hardened exterior. It was enough to make her question everything, to wonder if there was more to him than the ruthless facade he presented to the world. As the night wore on, the atmosphere grew more tense, discussions turned heated, and Jenny could sense the underlying danger in every word spoken. She watched as Jungkook navigated the conversation with cold precision, his authority unquestionable. At one point, a disagreement broke out, and Jenny felt the air in the room grow thick with tension. Jungkook's eyes darkened, his voice dropping to a dangerous tone as he issued a warning to the man who had dared to challenge him. Remember who you are dealing with, Jungkook said, his voice like steel. Cross me and you will regret it. The man backed down immediately, his fear palpable. Jenny felt a chill run down her spine. This was the man she was married to, the man who held her life in his hands. When the meeting finally ended, Jungkook led Jenny back to the car. The drive home was just as silent as the drive there, but this time the silence was heavy with unspoken words. Jenny could not shake the feeling that something had shifted between them, that the evening had revealed something new about the man she had married. Back at the mansion, Jungkook escorted Jenny to her room. Before he left, he paused in the doorway, his expression unreadable. "Remember what I say," he murmured, his voice low. "Stay out my way, and you will be fine." With that, he turned and walked away, leaving Jenny standing there, her heart racing. She could not help but wonder what the future held, whatever she would ever truly understanding the man she was married to, or if she would remain forever trapped in this cold, unfeeling world. As she lay in bed that night, sleep eluded her. Her mind was filled with thoughts of Jungkook, of the danger that surrounded him, and of the strange connection she felt to him. Despite everything, she knew she should be afraid, that she should keep her distance. But there was something about him that drew her in, something that made her want to uncover the man behind the mask. Little did she know this was just the beginning. The storm was far from over, and the cold reality of her new life was only just starting to unfold.